It all started this way. At first, I wasn't really who I was. I was more of a, you know, a person who didn't want smoke, so he just jumped on the bandwagon, shit like that. That was a long time ago. And, you know, I'm going through all this, saying shit that I don't really want to say and all that. And then I just came to this realization that I don't like this shit and I'm tired of pretending that I do. So, you know, I was taking a lot of inspiration from these other YouTube channels. And I'm seeing how they just they just freely speak and they have an audience that, you know, supports that shit. So I realized that it all depends. See, opinion, it depends on where you say that opinion. That's what it is. It depends on where you say it. Because opinions to other people are basically subjective. So when you say it in a favorable community, you get attacked, somebody's gonna come in and say it's his opinion, yada yada, all that bullshit. But if it's the other way around, then they're going to try to disagree with you and all that shit. And then you can try to use it's my opinion, but they still gonna try to tear you down. Like, that's why I do not care about that. It's his opinion nonsense. Because obviously they gonna go back on that shit when whatever chance they get, they gonna go back on it. They always run to this shit. That's the easy way out for them. So instead of saying some bullshit like that, I just came out clean. I just said, bruh, gave my reason. And I was willing to debate every time. Because motherfuckers just quit to say something without, giving themselves reason. And that's the shit they didn't like. Eventually, there came a point where I wasn't afraid to say anything. And I would sometimes go into these communities where I would go into these communities and say shit like, shit that people wouldn't like, but this is the way, I feel it. And I was ready for a backlash. It came to that point. Like, I'm not finna keep acting like a fucking drone or some shit and agree with everything. I'm going to agree with my own shit, however I feel about it. And I'm not going to, try to please anybody. That's just how I feel. And, people time from time come in and agree with me. So that's just how it is. And as for the backlash and all this shit, bruh, I was in classrooms where we had roast sessions for like hours. That shit don't hurt me.